Superboy versus Invincible. We all know that Superman versus Omni-Man is one of the most hotly debated fights out there. What would happen if their two kids went at it? Who would win between Invincible and Superboy? Well, let's get into it. And starting out, let's spend a bit of time talking about everyone's favorite Viltrumite, Invincible. So for starters, why are the Viltrumites so stinking powerful? Well, it's because they have access to smart atoms, molecularly the same as normal atoms, but they give access to all sorts of power on the atomic level. And Viltrumites are unique because they can use smart atoms for a whole lot of different powers: super strength, super speed, flight. They're the only race in the universe to have smart atoms literally encoded inside their DNA. That's what makes them so powerful. And just how powerful are they? Well, with super strength, most higher tier Viltrumites are in a class all their own, like Conquest, where he can casually bust out of solid 400-ton solid steel blocks encased all around his body, as well as 6 miles of earth caving in on top of him. And even that's not enough to overpower Invincible. Invincible and Conquest had some of the greatest fights in the entire series, leveling towns, busting apart mountains, creating whole new canyons, and basically terraforming the planet as a result of their showdowns. Invincible came out on top both times, beating Conquest and eventually killing him. During his fight against Invincible, Omni-Man was punching Mark so hard that he was shaking entire mountains, and doing this repeatedly. In fact, Omni-Man was sending Mark flying all over the planet, causing earthquakes each time that he landed. But while Invincible definitely got dominated in that first fight, that actually didn't stay that way for long. In fact, there was a moment later in the series when Mark decided to arm wrestle against his dad. While his dad won, it was actually because Mark let his dad win. Mark saw that they were being watched, and he didn't want anyone to question the legitimacy of his dad's claim to the throne because his son was stronger than him. Omni-Man later explained that doesn't really work that way, but it does suggest that Invincible had surpassed Omni-Man in strength by this point. There have been plenty of instances where people have said that Viltrumites are able to destroy worlds, even physically tear them apart with their bare hands. You know what? We've actually seen that. Omni-Man, Invincible, and Thaddeus all teamed up to destroy the planet Viltrum, which is roughly twice the size of Earth. They busted it apart just by flying straight through it. So yeah, the higher tier Viltrumites are incredibly powerful, and Invincible is basically the strongest and most powerful out of all of them. He got a few upgrades throughout the series. First off, when he actually started working out, that began to increase his strength. Then after his first fight with Thrag, when Thrag nearly killed him, Adam Eve rebuilt his body back and stronger than ever, to the point where now Invincible could actually challenge Thrag straight up. He could throw 100,000-ton spaceships into lower orbit, decapitate some of Thrag's kids, or kill them with just 1 or 2 hits. They were literally splattering against him and killing themselves just by trying to hurt him. And at the end of the series, he didn't just beat Thrag in a fight, but he also beat Alan the Alien in just a few hits, who's just as powerful as the strongest Viltrumites out there. One time in a crossover event that is canon, Invincible managed to push a moon out of its orbit and send it hurtling into the surface of Mars. Yeah, no doubt about it, Mark ends up being the strongest hero in Invincible. It's also insanely tough. Like, really tough. Before he even started working out, Mark was able to be hit with electricity 10 times as powerful as lightning, meaning that it was 500,000 degrees, or the same heat as the second hardest part of the sun. And after he began working out, Invincible survived a special nuke that the Mauler twins came up with that was like a million nukes all packed into one. Invincible survived. He's taken punches from Solar Man in a crossover, a dude who's a casual planet buster. He survived explosions that legit vaporized a city. Not destroyed, vaporized. He took blasts from Universa and her staff. Staff so powerful that it could destroy the world and drain the planet dry. Even in his final fight against Thrag, while Invincible and Thrag legit fought in the sun for 23 pages straight in the comic. They were in the sun up to 2 million degrees Fahrenheit. Not just that, but surviving solar flares, which erupt with the force of millions of nuclear bombs. And while Invincible did need Robot to come in and save him so he didn't burn up, it's still incredibly impressive that he was able to survive for just as long as he did. Then lastly, speed. And all Viltrumites are able to ignore gravity and move around at faster than light speeds, as they're actually able to bypass the speed of light altogether by subspace jumping their atoms. And Invincible can definitely do this, move at faster than light speeds. In fact, he's one of the fastest ones there is, even just busting through that planet Viltrum, while Invincible had to move faster than light speed to do it. And this is just common routine for Mark. While he's flying around or even during his fights against other Viltrumites, he's repeatedly moving at faster than light speeds. No question about it. At the end of the day, Invincible is without a doubt the strongest, most powerful Viltrumite out there, and he definitely proved that by the end of the series, beating Thrag in a fight in the sun. He's massively faster than light speed. He's class Z in terms of lifting strength, meaning he can lift moons or small planets. He's durable enough to survive small planet level attacks, and is powerful enough to dish out small planet attacks in return. Basically, Invincible comes in at small planet level in power. No doubt about it, he is the greatest Viltrumite there is. Now, with Superboy, well, it turns out there are a lot of different Superboys out there. There's Connor Kent, the half Superman, half Lex Luthor clone. There's Superboy Prime, the multiversal threat and unhinged lunatic. But for this fight, well, let's keep it close to home and just focus on Superman's actual biological son, Jonathan Kent. John Kent is the son of Superman and Lois Lane, starting his crime-fighting career at just 10 years old. However, an accident caused him to drastically age to becoming a teenager in just a few weeks, sent him off to join up with the Legion of Superheroes in the 31st century. And when he came back home, well, John became the new Superman in the place of his dad, looking for new ways to promote truth, justice, and a better world. Being a Kryptonian human hybrid, Superboy has all the same powers as his dad and cousin under the Yellow Sun. But according to Batman's research, well, John actually has the potential to surpass Superman, be even more powerful. This has been reaffirmed time and time again, whether it's by Batman, Wonder Woman, or Lex Luthor. Superboy has the potential to be even more powerful than Superman. In fact, according to Batman, John's powers have been growing so exponentially fast that he might already be stronger than his dad and his cousin. Now, to be fair, everyone might be saying that Superboy is as strong as his dad, but he doesn't really have the strength and lifting feats to really demonstrate that just yet. I mean, he is definitely superhumanly strong, able to easily lift several hundred tons like it's nothing. But when you're comparing him to his dad, well, that's light work, that's nothing. But what John has done is show off that he can throw a mean punch, like an absolutely devastating hit. He's knocked around gods and hurt monsters. He's even fought against fully grown Kryptonians and held his own. In fact, the punch he landed on Ultraman, well, it not just knocked Ultraman out, but Ultraman said that it was the hardest he'd ever been hit by anyone. And considering that Ultraman has regularly fought against the OG Superman and some other pretty powerful characters, that's a very impressive statement right there. And being Kryptonian, well, Superboy is also ridiculously tough and can take almost any attack that comes his way. And I really do mean any attack. He's just regularly using his body as a shield in order to protect his friends and people around him, which is a very Superman thing to do. He's taken punches and hits from Ultraman, punches from Wonder Woman, or even Injustice Batman and Injustice Superman, which is a version of Batman who's just as strong as Superman, and a version of Superman who has absolutely no problem with unleashing his full power with every punch that he throws. John has been able to take it all. He's even stood his own against the entirety of the Dark Army, taking the combined assault from Doomsday, Necron, Eclipso, Ares, and Darkseid. But more on that one later. And then Superboy also has some absolutely incredible speed too, which, does make sense. He's Kryptonian. John's regularly proven that he's faster than thought and can routinely speed blitz most anyone he comes across, even other superhumans. It's actually so fast that he's willing to break out of time-stopping powers. He's even beaten his own dad in a race before. He's got heat vision that's been able to injure both Doomsday and his own dad. He's got freeze breath that's on par with Superman and other Kryptonians. Superboy might still just be starting out, but the kid is immensely powerful. So who wins here? Well, let's break it down a little bit. Now, Invincible does have some very impressive feats to his name. The guy is definitely powerful, and in the context of his own universe, well, he's just about the most powerful there is. By the end of the series, the only true rival that Invincible has is Grand Regent Thrag himself, which means that he's more powerful than all other Viltrumites, including his own dad, Omni-Man, and some other serious heavy hitters like Alan the Alien and Battle Beast. And he's actually done some more impressive things than Superboy. Not saying that John couldn't pull off similar things, the kid is Superman's son, but we've actually seen Invincible do all this on the page. So gotta give credit to him where credit is due. The guy's pushed around moons, thrown them out of orbit. He's taken nuclear bombs and planetary destruction, no problem. Invincible even helped team up to destroy a planet that was twice the size of the Earth itself. There's some great feats to Mark's name. Problem for Invincible here, though, is that the scaling in DC compared to Invincible is just absolutely broken. You can pretty easily and pretty quickly scale John to be above Mark. Like, just look at Superboy's fight against Ultraman. He was able to give Ultraman a real good fight, taking hits and attacks from Ultraman, and even knocking Ultraman out with a punch that Ultraman thought to be the strongest hit that he'd ever taken. And Ultraman has just as many impressive feats as Invincible does, if not more. He's casually moved the moon. He beat Black Adam. He's regularly fought against Superman. He's even injured the Anti-Monitor. And Superboy knocked him out. That right there is arguably more impressive than the best of what Invincible has shown us. Even Invincible's fight with Thrag. And that's not all for Superboy either. He's taken punches from an alternate version of Superman, who is strong enough to casually move planets. And of course, There's a time where he stood alone against the entire Dark Army. Now, I think it's safe to say that because these are dark constructs of the character, they're not nearly as powerful as the authentic villains. Not even Superman himself could stand alone against this onslaught of bad guys. But even 1/100th of Doomsday, Necron, Eclipso, Ares, and Darkseid, especially all of them combined, well, that's arguably greater than any villain that Invincible faced in his universe. DC is just that much more powerful than Invincible. And that's pretty much the same for Superboy and Invincible. Being able to injure Ultraman, even injure Superman in Doomsday, well, that just puts Superboy on a whole different level. Invincible and the Viltrumites are just knockoffs and less powerful versions of Kryptonians. Batman said that John is going to be one of the most powerful Kryptonians that we've ever seen. And when Superboy has truly unleashed his real power, we've actually seen this to be true. Invincible would give him a good fight, but he's just ultimately outclassed here. Superboy wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're gonna see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.